It was an old school day at Owen Field. I'm Barry Trammell along with OU writer Ryan Aber. We're on Saturday. The Sooners rout Texas Tech 63-27, 400 yards rushing plus for the Sooners. Samaje Perine goes for 201. Joe Mixon for 154. Oklahoma had a fantastic day offensively, and the defense played pretty well too, Ryan.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The Sooners got going early. Their second drive of the game, they ran, I think it was 7 of 8 plays, only threw the ball once on that series, and really just crammed it right between the tackles with Mixon and Perine, and had fantastic success. We thought they might with some of the troubles that Texas Tech had defending the run coming in, but it was certainly a throwback game. It looked like what we saw last year from Samaje Perine and what we thought we would see from Joe Mixon.
Of course, the game a little bit closer, 28-17 at halftime. Sooners had a couple of untimely turnovers, long returns for Tech. Really kept this game from being a rout early, but that OU offense was otherwise so productive that Tech really didn't have a chance.
Yeah, no doubt about that. 28-17 at halftime, like you said, felt like it should have been about 42-3. Should have been 42-3, really. Both the drives where they turned the ball over on, it looked like they were going to drive down and score. Tech wound up scoring just a few plays after each of those turnovers, after, like you said, long returns. But in the second half, they really settled in and were consistent. Didn't turn the ball over, forced a few turnovers on the other side. All in all, they had 4 interceptions, most of them by the OU linebacking core. Frank Shannon, Dominique Alexander had one each. Dakota Austin, we didn't even mention him, stepped in for Zach Sanchez on the very first play of the game. He was fantastic from really the start. They picked on him quickly. He made tackle after tackle and made a big interception there in the corner of the end zone that kept Tech off the board once again.
Of course, an emotional game for Baker Mayfield. He was the Tech starting quarterback for 7 games in 2013. Transferred to OU under less than ideal circumstances. Didn't get his release from Texas Tech. Some questions about how would Mayfield, an emotional player, would he be able to keep things under wraps? He really did play a solid game. Wasn't spectacular. Threw an interception on a miscommunication, but really, I thought Mayfield handled the emotions of the day really well and let Perine and Mixon do their thing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You worried after that interception, could the emotion of the game start playing a bigger factor for him on the negative side? Wound up, he was very efficient, 15 of 22 for a couple touchdowns and just that one interception. And there was no doubt once this game got started that they were going to win the game with Samaje Perine and Joe Mixon. He really stuck with that, didn't try to do too much, made the plays when he needed to downfield, but didn't try to force anything.
Of course, this is the 4th career 200-yard game for Samaje Perine. I wrote about him for the Sunday Oklahoman. I also interviewed him after the game. I got to be honest with you, the guy is tougher to interview than he is to tackle. Incredibly humble, incredibly sort of within himself, refuses to talk much about himself. Here's my attempts to interview Samaje Perine. What could possibly happen on a football field to get you excited? Because we've seen you had great games and you seem the same whether you rush for 40 yards or 400 yards.
I don't know. I'm a calm guy. Don't get excited much. I mean, I get excited, but I don't show it.
How fun was it? What happened today was different than last year, though, in that you had a sidekick who was almost keeping up with you in the yardage. I mean, Joe went for over 150.
Yeah, it was great. You know, he had a fantastic game, and A-Ross came in there and he got his touchdown, and you know, it was an exciting day for the running backs, and I hope we can continue to do that.
And protecting and running the ball, of course, our 2 running backs, Samaje and Joe, were special. Yeah, they just need opportunities and a little bit of space to really make something happen, and they did. I thought Baker, again, was excellent. Receivers. Defensively, I thought we were really good. Again, you know, the only touchdowns we surrendered till the second half were, of course, on a very short field. And that part is maybe the only downer of the game was the fumble when we're going in to score again, much like sort of the end of the first half against Tulsa, where you're in control of the game, going in to score, and you drop the ball and give them, you know, a big return off of it in a short field. It just changes things, and that can't happen.
We felt like that the running game was close. You know, I know I've been telling you guys that. You're probably tired of hearing it. And we finally got over the hump a little bit today. Now, that doesn't mean we've got it figured out or we're over the hump for any other time, but we did today. You know, we had a lot of big holes early, and guys were running through some tackles. And then, even as they started to load the box a little bit more, our backs were good enough to make guys miss or to run through tackles. We were pretty consistent with it the whole day. So,
running the ball, that makes my job easy. When you have two horses like that in the backfield and you get your offensive line going, it's great for me. And the touchdown to Mark, that was just a play-action pass, and he was wide open just because the running game was working. So all the credit due to the running game and the big guys up front and the boys making people miss.
It looked like you were helping out on the sideline when you guys were on defense. What was your role during that? You were standing there with Coach Kish a lot.
I played there, so I know the offense and I know the formations and the personnel. So I was trying to help him out, giving him some keys and trying to help him out. With running and passing. Obviously I don't know the exact concepts they're going to run, but I kind of have an idea if it's going to be a run or a pass. So I'm trying to help him out however I can.
Well, we're playing more zone. Our guys are in better position on the football. That's what's key about it. And then you're able to get a little pressure on the quarterback and force them into trying to make plays, and that's what you have to do with Texas Tech because they're just so efficient offensively. We're able to get ahead, then finally separate in the beginning of the second half and take some chances because they're very foolproof what they do offensively.
You're right. As a team, we feed off each other. So, and with both sides of the ball, if we do something good on defense, that just boosts their energy. And likewise, they do something that boosts our energy. So when you see that, you're out there playing for your brothers, you play for everybody. All that does is bring us more energy, and it was good. It was really good to see it. Everybody was just hyped on the sideline, and really, really excited. And I think we fed off each other all day.
And so the Sooners move on next Saturday at Kansas, the team against which Samaje Perine ran for 427 yards, an NCAA record. He repeated his 200-yard performance from Tech last season. He did that today. Maybe he can get 400 against Kansas.
Yeah, you would imagine that Samaje Perine is going to have a big day next week. The Jayhawks have had trouble stopping much of anybody to this point in the season, still winless. But this is going to be important the next couple weeks for OU, mainly just to get healthy. We saw Zach Sanchez go down. A couple other secondary guys were injured. Jordan Evans, Devontae Bond out today. They need to get healthy against Kansas and against Iowa State because after those two games, then the gauntlet comes up. Then you've got Baylor, TCU, and Oklahoma State to end the season, and that's when we're going to find out just how good a season or bad a season the Sooners have had.
Well, that's it from Owen Field. Stay tuned for further OU football coverage here on News OK and every day in the Oklahoma.